Just do it!
Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Gus Sorola.
It's a heads up, PC pirates.
You mean Avast?
Avast, you PC pirates, because there is a rogue PC modder who's taken the law into his own hands, vigilante style, and now he's putting DRM checks into his mods to lock pirates out of the games that they've cracked that he's fixed.
Oh, that should go over really well, right? The mod in this instance just happens to be for one of Nier Automata's most popular mods, sending many PC gamers into a rage. Now we got accusations the modder has turned his mod into malware, a huge blow up on the Steam forums, blacklisted accounts, and an argument about whether or not gamers are entitled to mods in the first place. Let's go!
PC gaming. So there is a lot to unpack here, in case that summary wasn't enough. All the commotion started when PC modder Kdin updated his FAR mod for Nier Automata this week. The update included some patches to his super popular mod, but also checks to see if the user's Steam API file is legit or not.
For those who aren't aware of the FAR mod, it's considered by many of Nier Automata's players to be essential to the experience on the platform. When Nier first launched on PC earlier this year, the game was inexplicably lacking PC optimization, even for basic things like alternate resolutions and graphic settings.
Who needs those?
Very basic.
The FAR mod fixes those resolution problems and incorporates a number of performance fixes made by Kdin and other modders, addressing frame rate problems and even allowing the game to run more efficiently at different graphical settings.
So it basically fixes the game, especially if you want to run it in anything other than standard resolution.
Because why should developers fix their own games?
Right. What if you've got a 1x1 monitor? Which is why the game's pirates were in for a rude awakening with the latest update. Once the game scans to see if the copy is legit, pirates are now met with a screen showing the license agreement, asking them to buy the game and support Platinum Games.
Support the guys who couldn't be bothered to release a working PC port. No, but you still should though. It's pretty generous of him overall, though. It's, he's obviously showing a lot of support for the developers and trying to get other people to do the same. The timing of this seems fairly obvious, as Nier Automata's de novo protection was recently cracked in the last few days.
Makes sense.
Yeah. On the surface, it looks like a move for the modder to ask people to show some love to a game he clearly cares about. I mean, enough to fix it for the developers.
That's high praise. He's also credited with some other major fixes to a number of busted PC ports in the past, including Tales of Berseria, the Final Fantasy X, X-2 HD Remaster, Tales of Symphonia, Arkham Knight, and Dragon's Dogma.
And since his mod for Nier Automata is so widely downloaded, the new DRM check has certainly rubbed some people, mostly pirates, in the wrong way. The FAR mods thread on the Steam forums has exploded with anger in the last day or so, and boy did it get heated.
For one thing, pirates are mad that this fairly necessary mod no longer lets them use the mod if they've stolen the game. You can imagine that part hasn't gone over too well. But on top of that, some users discovered that Kdin's mod now deletes files from the user's PC if they've pirated the game, so that's got some users equating the mod to malware.
Maybe a little bit of a point there. However, others contend that the deleted files are simply files that are associated with the cracked version of Nier, allowing them to circumvent the de novo protection. So they're arguing that the deleted files are totally justified, not malware. Still, even the anti-piracy people are a little bit bothered by the files being deleted and feel like maybe the modder should have included some kind of disclaimer about altering the PC's files at the very least.
Meanwhile, people on both sides are claiming that Kdin is overstepping his bounds as a modder, saying that it's not up to modders to police whether or not people own legitimate copies of the game.
To which others are replying, if you don't like it, just stop using the mod. There you go. No one's entitled to use the mod anyway, and it's not required in order to play the game. Also not a bad point here at all. So there's lots of good points and lots of crazy points all over the place.
But of course, that's where things get complicated, because many people are arguing that the mod is kind of required to play the game for some users.
Nope, still optional, guys. Still optional.
Platinum Games did shoddy work on the port.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole thread's a mess, obviously. And Kdin certainly didn't help things by insulting some of the posters.
No. So 2 posters in particular escalated the attacks to the point where Kdin decided, you know what, screw this, and added code to the mod which blacklisted their Steam ID, specifically those 2 people from using their his mod. After some more insults back and forth, Kdin himself has now been banned from his own mod's thread, so he can't update it anymore with notes about fixes.
There's now a decent-sized thread about the incident over on the Crackwatch subreddit, where pirates are celebrating Kdin's ban because he supports DRM and defends de novo. However, some posters are arguing in Kdin's defense because the modder does so much for the playability of broken PC games in general.
Kdin may be silenced from the FAR mod thread on Steam, but he's been talking a little bit about why he did what he did over on his Special K Steam community group. Yes, it's delicious. There, Kdin said about the deleted files that you have to click the button to acknowledge that you pirated the game before it deletes your cracked config file and shuffles a few DLLs around. He said the easiest fix is to just buy the game legit.
As for his defense of instituting a DRM check into the mod, he says he's just trying to distance himself from copyright infringement and doesn't want people who are stealing the game to be using his tools, mostly as a form of legal protection for himself.
And sadly for PC gamers just in general, Kdin also indicated that because of this whole kerfuffle and how toxic the Steam community can be, he doesn't plan on making any more game-specific mods after this fiasco, which kind of a shame since he basically single-handedly fixed Nier on PC and several other games when developers couldn't or, wouldn't.
So for now, pirates can either choose to play the game without the FAR mod, or they can simply find an unsupported version of it that will allow them to play without the newly added DRM checks. Someone will probably have something like that up and running in, I don't know, 5 minutes ago, because piracy always finds a way.
Always. As not always the conclusion to every story about piracy. Piracy finds a way. What do you guys think? Did the modder go too far? Checking for DRM in his mod? Should pirates just get over it and install the mod? Do they have a point? Should they be buying the game? Do you still owe the developers money if you feel they did not deliver a fully functional game? I'm imagining that's probably a lot of people who pirated this and are upset about the DRM being added in a mod that fixes the game are saying that the developers couldn't be bothered fixing it, so why should they pay for it?
Are you playing the game? You owe them money.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I mean,
it's pretty
it's
much
that simple.
how it goes. Like if you are happy enough to have the experience, then you're being entertained by their work.
Yeah.
So
well, you know what we think. So let us know what you think down in the comments. And for future updates on Pirates vs. DRM, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Note. This reminds me a few years ago, probably like 15 or 16 years ago, there was a computer virus called Code Red that would infect people's computers. They named it Code Red because of Mountain Dew. Some hackers made an alternate version of the virus and called it Code Green. And Code Green was supposed to force Windows Update to make Code Red not work. So it meant well, but ultimately didn't work.